All right, so I think the stream thinking about things is ready to go though. So hello everybody, Megazord X here, back at it again to give you another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 84. And my goodness, man, I felt like it's been a couple of weeks. I felt like it's been even though I felt like there wasn't a lot going down, at least for me personally, what was going on in my life, I felt like there was at least quite a bit of stuff that was going down though. But actually, in terms of the world of gaming, not too much crazy stuff happened. If it weren't for some of the Nintendo topics I had planned for tonight, it wouldn't be nearly as crazy though. But Steven, how's your week been?
My week's been doing good.
Oh, it's been doing
I
all
was
right.
I was I was I was sick. I had COVID again, but like not much I could do to control that. Besides that, nothing bad happened.
No, man, yeah, because I was in the call with this dude, and I was like, bro, I was like, what's going on? I was like, this man sounded like a Shrek with that one frog. He was like, I'm dying. I was like, oh no, like you couldn't even get out the bed half the time.
No, I couldn't. I had a hard time even going to get tested.
Oh goodness.
I
No,
was
but
debating literally just how I was debating waiting till my parents got home and asking them to take me to the clinic. But I got my ass up and did it, and I'm glad I did because I started taking medicine right away.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Like what? That put you back like what, 3, 4 days or something like that?
2 days because I actually went into work the last 2 days.
I gotcha.
So I had to take off Thursday and Friday.
Hmm. Well, outside of you being sick, which it always sucks whenever you're sick and you're put down under like that though. Outside of that, I mean, well, at least for me, it's just been kind of busy and stuff. Like had like a makeshift like family reunion, like different people on the other side of the family tree showing up. So had some stuff like that going back and forth though. Did some work on my car and stuff though. So just general life and stuff that just been happening around though. But in terms of the major news and topics we got to go through and talk about tonight, in terms of pop culture stuff, there's two things. One we'll briefly talk about. I just have a couple of things. The Olympics and stuff. It's been another 4 years, so we got some sports and stuff going on right now though, which I've been watching some of those events, and some of the sports is interesting, especially some. Ooh, they busted one up on me real good, so I got a story to tell with that one. And let's see here. Oh yeah, and then in terms of gaming stuff, what we got like some Splatoon updates, the Nintendo Joycon Grip situation thing, and how people kind of ran with that story with like Nintendo Switch 2 possibly related stuff. And I'm trying to remember what was the stinger up on this thing though. Um, Dog, I was trying to get back over here to my notes. Yeah, Nintendo World Championships also came out this weekend, or not this weekend, last weekend as well. So we got to talk about that. Both me and you, Steven, been going through and playing it. So we got to give our thoughts on that. And Emio has been revealed since the last podcast episode. I'm kind of a little bit salty because you called out some things that were kind of correct, but then I kind of had some stuff though too though. So yeah, we'll get all, into all of these topics and more here in this episode. Were you laughing over there, or was that you
Yes,
coughing still?
that
Uh,
was me. That was me laughing. I was, technically right is the best way to be right. That's all
okay.
I'll say right now.
All right, we'll leave it at that until we get there, though. So yeah, a lot of great stuff. Oh shoot, dang it! I looked over here on my side. I'm looking over here at my stupid Steam Deck thing, and I was like, dang it! I thought I had all my ducks in a row for this bad boy though, and then of course I did not have this thing preloaded with the right stuff though. Anyway, I guess the show goes on though, Steven. So aha, um, okay. I think we might be in business. We might be in business. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment. You know what? Dang it. I thought we were gonna have it up in the queue. This thing ain't being nice to me. Oh well, whatever though. Swoosh. Imagine something flipped and flew right here. All right, now we're talking about the Olympics. All right, so Steven, have you been watching any of the Olympic sports and stuff that's been going down here recently?
I'm
Or
gonna
just seeing clips, even if you saw some small things on Twitter.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've not seen a single thing about the Olympics, but I know, I've played enough Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games to know what they're doing there.
No, yeah, you're right on that because what was it? Obviously, it's 2024 because the last time, remind you, COVID got the best of us because remember in
Yeah.
2020 that was supposed to happen, and we all remember how that year went. It was supposed to happen in Japan, like Mario would have had like an appearance or something like that. So I imagine there was going to be like some cool gaming related stuff that Japan would have took advantage of, and we got robbed of that. I don't know when they're going to run that mess back, but that's all she wrote on that though. But at least for me personally, I've been having like the Olympics on, just running in the background and stuff. Like like I might be doing some tasks and stuff, just let the sports roll because with it being in Europe, that's like what 7 hours ahead of me, 6 hours ahead of you, Steven. And it's weird because like what the events and stuff will take place during the middle of the day, and it's not until by the time we actually get off of work or something like 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that, well, it's nighttime. They're going to bed over there, but they just put the stuff on loop though. But I do like some of the
Yeah,
sports, and tell me why, Steven. They added break dancing as a new official sport
I
this
seen
year.
that. That's awesome.
Oh
I,
goodness.
I it definitely takes skill. Like I'm not gonna say it's not worthy of being. If fucking curling can be in the Winter Olympics, why can't breakdancing be in the
Whoa, whoa,
regular
whoa!
Olympics?
You throwing slander against curling, dude?
No, I
Man,
no
I like to hire some of those people that sweep in front of them curling ball things. Man, look like they got
no
mad skills.
no. I think the only thing about breakdancing is that it's like objective. Whether I don't. It's hard to grade it. I guess they found a way, but still, I think it's cool. Um, apparently it okay, it did not make its debut yet. It's gonna make its debut starting August 9th, and for women, and then men will start the next day. It'll be solo battles, best of three.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that one though, because I got to see at least how that mess goes. But I think some of my personal favorites to always see, obviously, like you had the traditional track and stuff, like what you would play out of the Mario and Sonic Olympic games for track and field. Like I always like the racing, like the relays and stuff. Because man, I used to be a runner back in the day. At least when I was in grade school and stuff, I was the fastest kid on the block. But so I like those events. I also like swimming. They've been doing a lot of swimming this weekend, and there were rolling gymnastics tonight. I was watching that right before starting this one though. So, some nice cool little sports here and there though. And I saw a clip of one fencing thing though. Like a dude was like hopping like a leapfrog or something. And I was like, I never seen that strap before though. And
I,
did
I
you see
seen
that?
someone I seen someone saying that he was playing neutral.
I know that's why I'm saying too. Like he was hopping in midair. I
Uh,
was like, what the heck is this dude doing?
People not understanding that that's how fights work. You
Yeah.
just you wanna keep your ground in a fight.
Yeah, no, that dude was putting a lot of pressure on that dude though. So yeah, I love seeing all the sports. If you're just sitting down, just watching them all of them back to back, and kind of get a little bit old. So it's just kind of dip in, dip out, watch clips on Twitter, watch some things on YouTube. That's just how I'm gonna treat like the next what? It's about almost a month or so that they're gonna be running all of these different events. I think it's like technically 3 weeks or so, but it's close to a month. But yeah, and then obviously they had like the whole kicking off ceremony and stuff on Friday. And I didn't know if you saw this, like those people that hold the torch when they're running that stuff to light the fire at the beginning. Snoop Dogg had one torch, and it was funny because I saw this on Twitter while I was scrolling. He was like, "This is the one time he can't drop it like it's hot," and that gave me a good laugh right there. I was like, I was like, okay, that's technically true. All right, you got me right there. But if you've seen the opening ceremonies and stuff, it was really cool, really fancy. They had 4 years to prepare for this stuff, though. But I was still kind of blown away with the stuff they were able to pull. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand with Olympics. If I see something else crazy within, I guess, the next couple of weeks or so, I might add a little tidbit, just like in the intro segment of the next episode, though. But I just want to kind of address it because it is an event that only happens every 4 years. My only big question to you, Steven, is where the heck is our 2024 Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? Like Sega or Nintendo hasn't came out and said nothing about this game yet, and I thought it was a shoo-in.
It's because they did this Sonic, like Sonic has his own, I think.
Wait, really? For this year?
No, on mobile. I think they just started doing them as mobile games. Maybe Nintendo
Oh,
just doesn't want to give it resources anymore,
hmm.
or
I
maybe
guess
just after 2020, definitely. Come on, 2020's definitely flopped. It could just be because of that.
I think it flopped for a reason because I mean everybody was in a tizzy that year, so I don't know.
and
I hope
and
that one just
also
doesn't cancel the series. I still liked it.
I never even played the Tokyo one, but I heard it was l- lame.
Hmm. It might have been. I don't know. Who's to say though? But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on the Olympics right here. Really cool stuff. I'll be watching it for the next couple of weeks. So if you're following my Twitter and stuff, if I see something crazy, I'll tweet and talk about it. So keep an eye on my socials and stuff though. But that's gonna do it for that one part of the pop culture segment. And then the last thing I gotta talk about, well, before we talk about what's on the screen here real quick, we'll just go ahead and say this. Comicom did happen within the past few days and stuff. So obviously this is a convention. Gosh dang it, Steven. I thought I asked you this at one moment though. I was like, how long have they been running this convention? Like, I know it's been like a good long hot minute. Still
I'm
need to,
checking.
yeah, check that up
Um,
for me.
you asked
But
me this the other day. It
yeah,
started in 1964, so
good
that's 80
gracious,
years. But
80
San Diego,
years?
it started in New York City in 80 years
Oh,
ago. It started in San Diego in 1970. So my estimate of about 50 years was actually close. Wait. Am I getting? I'm getting my math completely wrong. I said 80.
you said
No, I
19. You said 1964, right?
yeah, I 60 fucking 60. 60
60.
exactly. Yeah, exact.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can't talk. 60 years for the one in New York, 54 years for the one in San Diego.
Oh, so they only did it for 6 years in New York and then moved it over.
They still do it in New York.
Oh, okay.
New
Oh,
York
okay,
is
okay. I
close to
got
the
you.
beginning of the year.
I got you. Okay.
I still think so. I think it's like a January thing.
All right.
Same thing as like New York Toy Fair, if you've ever heard of that.
No, I hadn't heard of that one. But yeah, so we had that big event go down. And obviously, Comic Con and stuff, it took a blow like most things after COVID, though. And now it's definitely in full force. It might have been in full force kind of last year a little bit, though, too. But 2020, 2021, 2022, that was kind of all shaky and stuff. So it's good to make sure that, this is solidly back on its feet now. And we got a lot of, interesting stuff. Obviously, the Marvel segment is like the biggest part, but we'll save that for last. Because, Steven, did you have a couple of other things that you wanted to point out that was announced at this event?
Yes.
All right, go ahead
So
and take it away.
besides the Marvel stuff, this is a show that I care about a lot. A show I really like. Um, The Boys, which is a adult show on Prime Video. They announced, they just finished season 4 on Prime, but they announced a new spin-off series with two of the side characters from The Boys. It's a prequel, and it's really cool because it's one of the most popular side characters in the show. I guess like a villain, I guess one of the more popular antagonists in the show, and then one of the other more popular recent characters. Um, I am really excited for it. It's like because the whole show is about like a corrupt corporation, and this series is going to be like the humble beginnings of the corporation before it turned monstrous. There's not much else I could say besides watch The Boys. Obviously, it's a great show if you like if you're okay with violence and sexual content in your shows, then it's a good watch.
Okay, okay.
Besides besides that, DC had a couple things. They showed, there's a new original series on Max. It's animated, called Creature Commandos, which I think it looks cool. It's James Gunn is this is the one of the first things that he's helping with, which James Gunn, I hope, right? Like Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
the new Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
Creature Commandos actually looks pretty fun. It looks like a type of, Suicide Squad thing, or I don't want to call it that, but it's like a bunch of these like weird characters all mashed up together in their own project. I would keep your eye on this one if you have Max. I don't know if you have Max. Might be
No,
a
yeah.
good
What was it?
might
My
be a good
parents
watch.
own it, so they share it with me. So I have access to Max. Yeah.
Yeah. And they also revealed the new DC Studios logo, which it's a nod to the old DC Comics logo.
Did they update that sucker?
Yes.
how different is this thing?
Um, I'm posting the image in our podcast studio chat. This is the
Okay.
new one.
Okay. Not that- that's okay. It's okay.
It's an here's like the history of the logos. So this is going back to the old logo, basically.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see it. And
I
for
like
those
it.
that like are listening on audio and stuff, just look it up. But basically, it's like almost a standard DC thing, twisted to or twisted to the left by 45 degrees. Stars on like instead of northeast, south, and west, it's like northwest, southeast, all of those coordinates, and then a blue circle around it, and with the word studios at the bottom. So I'm like, I mean, I guess it kind of looks better than what it was originally. I'll say that.
It looks better than the newest one. It was too simple.
Oh yeah, no, that one, yeah, it was a little simple.
Just just DC, nothing else. A lot, so many logos nowadays are too simple. But that's besides the point. One of the
Yeah.
other cooler things was Mortal Kombat 1 got a lot of news actually, if people care. Mortal Kombat 1 is getting a new combat pack with 6 new characters, including Ghostface from Scream, T-1000 from Terminator 2, Conan the
The heck?
Barbarian, Noob Saibot, and some other Mortal Kombat original characters returning.
Nah,
But that's
okay. If I were playing Mortal Kombat, no, I would just I'll just main Terminator at that point.
Yeah, no, yeah, he would no Terminator like the Arnold, the Arnold Terminator. I think it's T-800. He's in Mortal Kombat 11. But no, T-1000 is like the one that's like the metal guy in
Yeah.
the second movie. If you've watched it,
Hmm.
he's the antagonist in the second one, but he's gonna be cool. Honestly, he looks just like he did in the movie.
Okay.
But it's gonna be part of, and then they're also showing a new story expansion called the Chaos Reigns DLC. And one of my favorite things is that they're bringing back animalities, which, if you don't know, they were in Mortal Kombat 3, where instead of a fatality, your character will turn into an animal before brutally ending their opponent.
Dang.
Like
Uh,
they'll just, okay, here's yeah, like a character will turn into a gorilla and rip the opponent apart, or turn into a hippo and crush them. Scorpion turns into a scorpion, stuff like that. It's funny,
okay.
and yeah, that's stuff. That's gonna be a free update coming to the game. Stuff like that is really the fun stuff to me when Mortal Kombat's not all bloody and violent and just tries to do something unique.
Yeah.
And besides that, there wasn't much else. They showed a new trailer for that Penguin series, which is the same Penguin from the Batman movie.
Oh man, I like how you brought that up, man. You know I don't like that movie.
Yeah, like Penguin, and Penguin is like amazing actor wise in that movie. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they gave him his own spin-off series. And the makeup they do on him is insane.
Huh.
Like they
Okay.
basically like put tons and tons of makeup to make him look like that. Besides that, there wasn't much else. I don't know, unless you care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They showed some more stuff about the new series.
Ah,
That's about
okay.
it.
Huh. All right. Well, not too bad. And one of these days I got to get over to Comic Con. I think that's like one thing I'm gonna put on my bucket list, along with a slew of some of these other kind of gaming conventions. At least to try to go to one of these suckers, though. Like I missed the boat on E3. Well, I really would should have gone during the prime of that if I ever was gonna go, though. But one day I'm going to make my way over to Comic Con though, because for moments like these, because Marvel came out swinging on the last day of the panels and stuff like that. For some, I think it technically goes to Sunday, but I was thinking they might have had something on Sunday night, late Saturday night. But that's the way how it played out though. So apparently they had their panel and stuff, and honestly, I had no idea it was going down at that moment. thought it was later. It wasn't until like one of my other friends, like he texted me and say, "Bro, did you see all the stuff that happened?" I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I instantly shut down my phone, booted it, or not shut down my phone, started up my phone, went to Twitter because I knew it was gonna be right there on my timeline and stuff. Like I'm kind of synced in with that stuff, so it should be there on my timeline. And lo and behold, I just saw Robert Downey Jr. in green. I was like, wait, what the freak is going on over here? Like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
Like, he's just doing like a little, voice actor panel over there. I was like, okay, I wouldn't put it past them and stuff. And then I saw like the video in motion. And then I was like, wait a minute, you got the directors over here for Avengers and stuff, and they were talking about Doom and stuff. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hold on, they're gonna do Doom and stuff. Like, technically, with tie it in with like Secret Wars and stuff, because originally, remind you, Kang the Conqueror and stuff, that was supposed to come before Secret War, and Secret War was gonna, introduce Doom and stuff. So that's what originally was going on in my mind. And then they showed up, green dude up in here, takes off his mask, Robert Downey Jr. I was like, oh, they just announced that this dude is gonna play Doom, and now what we got dubbed as Avengers Doomsday, which is gonna come out in 2 years from now, 2026, followed by Secret Wars in 2027. So he be playing the villain in both of those movies respectively, though. And that right there, oh, that caught me by surprise. I closed that out. I went straight into our Discord chat. I saw some of y'all up in there though, and then I was like, no, we got to talk about some of my raw impressions there because I was blowing up.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I personally think it's probably gonna be better than Kang because Fantastic Four will definitely show him or set him up. One of the two.
Oh yeah, you got to set him up, kind of like how what was it? Like how like in Thor, what was it? Thor Ragnarok. At the very end of that, that's how we knew Thanos was
Yeah.
really into play. So it'll be something like a scene towards the end of that movie that I'm expecting that will flow into Avengers Doomsday.
Mm,
That's what I'm expecting out of the Fantastic Four movie. But it's actually gonna be kind of
yeah.
cool because we went in a long drought without Fantastic Four showing up in anything movie related for the longest time. I think you can watch like one of the old movies on Disney Plus though, but we're going from hardly any representation to them having their own movie, and they will show up again in Doomsday as well as Secret Wars back to back. So that's three different movies with with Fantastic Four up in there though. So for those fans, I know that they're gonna be rejoicing with all this great
Well,
news though.
there's another one that has some Fantastic Four stuff in it, but yeah, you'll see.
Yeah. Oh, and for those that are
Um,
also wondering, since we're on this topic with Marvel and stuff, yes, we do know that Deadpool and Wolverine came out this weekend. Steven had the luxury of somehow managed to squeeze in and watch that movie. Even though he was sick, he got better on that
be-
Sunday and watched it. I had not
yeah,
gotten around to watching it. So we're gonna hold off on our discussions on that movie. Well, not without going into heavy spoilers. We'll still avoid that. We'll save that for
yeah,
next episode. But luckily, we had enough Marvel news to talk about within this week. So we got to spread the love out.
yeah. So the fact that they even announced the name the Kang Dynasty for Avengers 5, damn, I was about to say Nintendo because we talk too much about Nintendo here. Kevin Feige must have been fucking pissed when Jonathan Majors hit his wife or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
because that definitely ruined half of their plans for the MCU. Him getting fired.
No, I mean they were gonna set that mess up beautifully. Like I love the actor and what he was doing within like the Loki series and stuff.
Yeah,
Then we saw him in what was it? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium and stuff. Like I love the
yeah,
character, the way how they portrayed him and stuff. And I thought, the story behind him and what actually happens in the comics and what they were doing within the movies had so much potential. But obviously this flipped everything on its head. So now you got the Russo brothers involved again that made the original Avengers 1, Civil War, and Infinity War and Endgame and stuff. So they're coming back and doing that. So I feel good,
also
at least
Winter
with the
Soldier, I
director.
think.
Yeah, Winter Soldier too. Yeah, that one
Which
too.
that's one of the best movies in the MCU as well.
Uh,
Um,
Not including Avengers movies, yes, it's definitely in my top 5. Like if I were
yeah.
excluding Avengers movies, it's definitely in my top
Well, if
5.
I'm
Winter Soldier is good.
if I'm excluding Avengers movies, Guardians Volume 1, 2, and 3 are all in the top 5 still.
Eh.
But yeah, Winter Soldier's in there, and then probably for the like the end of the top 5, probably like Thor Ragnarok. But like either way, back to the topic at hand. All Jonathan Majors had to do was not be a piece.
Yeah.
It's a shit. But nope, everything was ruined. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania exists for absolutely no reason now. That movie serves literally no purpose.
That's that's the biggest pimp slap ever right there. Because now somebody mentioned that on Twitter, and I thought back to myself on it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I guess that's just a one-off villain. You really got to view it as a one-off villain, even though he had a lot more involvement before that movie even happened. But for if you're just looking at that one piece of the pie, yeah, you're kind of right. It's just,
But they had all that, they even made this big marketing push about how he's the next big villain of the MCU.
yeah,
And they
it's
were making a big deal about him. He was the main marketing reason. He was half the reason people went to go fucking see Quantumania.
yeah, that's true.
And then it was just done. Like Kang, here's to be fair, like the TV shows were half the reason people even cared about him anyway. So it wasn't even really all that effective.
Uh,
The multiverse thing that they were going for in Phase 4 just did not work out.
Yeah, for better or for it's just a lot of series of unfortunate events. Like it kind of all start well, not that it's anybody's fault or anything like that. Though it's just
Mm.
unfortunate events. Like everything from Chadwick Boseman's death to the poor execution and stuff. Like you're coming off a lot of hype with Endgame and stuff, and then you're dealing with
Yeah.
that, and then it's like, well, you can't ever get up to that level. You kind of have to do like a small little reset and stuff. And for a lot of people, it's gonna be hard for them to kind of you know, process all of that. And then on top of that, your direction and stuff is, a little bit shaky and stuff. They heard the fan feedback, they're restructuring it. Then what you're building up with this King Dynasty and stuff, then, stuff happens with the actor and stuff. So he gets yanked out. Now we're flipping movies around and stuff and introducing Doom a little earlier than what he would. So now I'm like, how the heck did these Russo brothers like take what's already been set up in phase 4 and for some of these future movies that are going to come out in phase 5, and how do they kind of build off of it though? But from what I've seen thus far with phase 4 movies and where we're currently at within like, yeah, we're technically in the midway point of phase 5 right now. I'm definitely seeing a turn. I think that turning point definitely started with Deadpool and Wolverine. While yes, I still have to go through and watch that. I even saw we saw the trailer and we talked about it, I think in the last episode with Captain America Brave New World. Like that one's a little bit more grounded, back to form and stuff. I like the inclusion that they're gonna, delve into the world with Red Hulk and stuff. So I think the potential is there. And then thus with their decision making on bringing Robert Downey Jr. to play as Doctor Doom over here, while yes, it's probably a huge part of it is marketing reason and stuff like that, though. But you can't tell me there's not going to be a huge line of people that are probably still going to go up and watch Doomsday as well as Secret Wars for the sole reason that Robert Downey Jr. is back in the MCU. I mean, even whenever he made his portray at Comicom like that, he had his arms spread out in that one iconic shot from Iron Man 1. And he said, like, what one of the quotes he said was like, I guess, like, saying, or dang
He
it.
said he
Yeah, say it
said
for me.
new mask, same task,
New mask, same task. So
which
he's like,
probably means like peace in our time or whatever the thing that Ultron repeated to him.
yeah, so at least, everybody's looking at this dude and saying, hey, we're trying to get the MCU back on track. Not that they're necessarily failing. Like, let's keep it straight. Even though a lot of people are saying Marvel is in a slump, in terms of the creative, like what fans wanted to see out of it, yes. Money wise, absolutely not. They're beating DC like hand over fist and stuff. They're still all these movies are still profitable. Let's get that straight though. It's just kind of like the fan perception of what we really want to see. It hasn't been living up to the hype, but I think they're turning around that corner now. Like this is probably this whole entire weekend in general. Like when we got all the news about the Fantastic Four movie, how we know that that's coming out next year and stuff, and then us getting the trailers and stuff for Captain America: Brave New World. This is probably the most excited I've been personally for the MCU in quite some time. I hit some like spikes and stuff with certain movies, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and stuff. When we had that Spider-Man No Way Home movie and stuff, like you had spikes up in there that were really good in the moment, but then you had slumps like She-Hulk, you had slumps like Eternals. It was just a
Yeah.
bunch of yin and yang flowing all over. You had some cool, unique stuff like Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. I will boast that movie to there and back. Like, I think that was probably the freshest new movie we had in a hot minute. And I think since then, I don't think anything kind of lived up, at least in my personal expectations of what I like to see out of a new character that's being brought in the MCU like that, though. So, yeah, I still got to see how Deadpool and Wolverine are brought in, though. But a lot of their legacy still carries over from some of their past movies and stuff. But overall, it's an interesting decision on the casting. And I know some people are going to be like, "What?" I'm still going to recognize when they look at Robert Downey Jr. They're still going to recognize him as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Knowing the Russo brothers, they're
Well, I
going to
think
go.
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think, on one hand, some people have criticized the casting of Robert Downey Jr., saying it's a little pathetic, which it definitely kind of is. Like the fact that they're pulling the panic button and getting Robert Downey Jr. back to get people to care about the MCU again, which it will work. Don't worry. It will definitely work. I think if he is a variant of Iron Man, if he's somehow like an Iron Man variant, which I kind of hope he isn't, that will definitely familiarize the audience with him easier. You won't have to develop him as much, like backstory wise, because if he started out the same way as Tony Stark and
He
got
had like
sent down a
one
different
twist
path.
of one twist of fate, kind of like a what if scenario, which we had that within the Disney Plus series, so I think they can include that quite
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
or even just Tony Stark, like the kid that was Tony Stark grew up in, well, I forget what Doctor Doom's uh like hometown is, Lefteria or something, whatever, like the place he's from
Yeah.
in the comics, which I don't know much about Doctor Doom. I just know he's cool. Doctor Doom has one of the coolest designs and like powers. He just everything about him's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because in terms of the powers, he's like a pseudo Iron Man, pseudo Doctor Strange. Like he can kind of do a little bit
Yeah,
of the science and also a bit of the magic as well, though. So it makes for an interesting enemy to say the least.
yeah, no, I hope he delivers. I think Robert Downey Jr. will knock it out of the park performance wise. He's always done a great job. I just gotta see how he can play a villain.
Oh yeah, because I've seen some of his other works in other movies though, and it's not like anything like iconic, like as a superhero or something like that though. But I think he has the potential, and two, that's the other thing. Like half the time, Doctor Doom's wearing a mask though, so I was like, I don't know if they're gonna play with like some voice
Mhm.
modulars or something, like give him like that, big, dark, bassy kind of, or is it gonna be like a little light tone in certain moments? They could definitely play with the character a little bit though, because it's never exactly one to one with the way how they're handle it in the comics. Like they diversify it just enough to make it unique within, this MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the movie. We don't have to wait too long on this. Two
I
years
was
from now.
thinking when I was thinking of like how he'd sound like when he's screaming or whatever, I was thinking, in Iron Man 1 where he's on top of the building and he tells Pepper to like overload the reactor and he's like, "Just do it."
Ooh, you took me back with that one scene. Yeah.
Well, cuz I've watched Iron Man 1 more than any other MCU movie. It's great. But like, he can pull off like the more erratic behavior, I guess you'd
Hmm.
call it. Him fighting Captain America in Civil War especially is like one of his most like out of tune. I was gonna say
Oh
out of
yeah.
tune moment.
Yeah. That was like
Even
more
at the
like a
beginning,
brother against a brother kind of
yeah.
fight though. But
Even
yeah.
even the beginning of Endgame where he just gives up once he gets back to Earth, tells off Captain America, and then goes off for the 5 years.
Yeah.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it in him. You could, and obviously, if it is just a variant of Tony Stark, there's tons of things that you could, m- story beats. Like you can make it work. There's tons of ways that he could turn evil. He was kind of an asshole at the beginning of Iron Man 1.
Oh
You
no,
could
yeah, he had a
easily,
big ego. He definitely had a
yeah.
character arc in those span of 10
And if
years.
there's
Yeah.
one thing I've heard about Doctor Doom, he's got a huge ego, so he's gonna pull that off very well.
Yeah. So some awesome stuff that came out of Comic Con this year though. So, looking at the future, while we're here and stuff, because I want to know. Obviously, we just came off the heels of Deadpool and Wolverine. That's our one movie from this year. This is excluding the Disney Plus stuff because I know we got Agatha all along and stuff that's coming out here in just a bit though. But just looking at the major movies and stuff, next year you start off with Captain America: Brave New World in February. In May you have Thunderbolts. In July is Fantastic Four. And I think around November ish, if everything still, plays out
Mm.
according to schedule, we should have Blades. So I think each one of those
Uh,
four, well, I think the lowest one might be Thunderbolts in terms of like some fans to see how it all plays out though. But hey, if they let Winter Soldier lead that pack, it could be interesting. I think it's just gonna be funny just having that cast of characters though. There's a couple like I know that you weren't fans of, like what Taskmaster and Ghost from like the Ant-Man movie and stuff. I was like, okay, now those I don't really have a lot of you know connections with. But Yelena, I know you don't like her, but I like her. I think she's kind of cool. And then what was it? You had that fake Captain America, like soldier or something. What I can't ever remember the dude's name, so I always just call him Fake Cap. It's just the easiest thing I can remember him by. Um, what was it? Oh, and then Red Hulk should be up in it, but we'll see how they play that with Captain America and stuff. So I think between these four movies leading up to Doomsday in May of 2026, I think we're in for a good time. I think we're in for a good solid time, Steven.
yeah. Last thing I will mention about Marvel at Comic Con, we actually got a decent amount of news about Fantastic Four, including a full title.
Wait, what was that full title?
It is the Fantastic Four First Steps,
The Fantastic Four First Steps.
which implies that there will be more Fantastic Four movies, which probably, yeah, like Fantastic Four are a big deal.
Oh yeah, no, especially once they're tying it with Doctor Doom and stuff like that, which, Doctor Doom as a villain is usually strongly related with Fantastic Four, but obviously he's been playing the villain role against people like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange and
Mhm.
stuff like that though. So, you know how they treat the villains and stuff just in Marvel in general though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I fully expect because most of these characters that get brought into MCU, they at least get 3 movies or something. So Fantastic Four, actually, are they going to be the only? No, Fantastic Four and Blade. I think only 2 movies that are going to happen that are bringing in new characters in the MCU. Well, and
Oh,
technically Deadpool, Wolverine.
yeah,
So
and
technically
like
3.
it's confirmed, the Fantastic Four movie, it's gonna take place in an alternate universe set in the 1960s
Oh, they're
rather
pulling
than
that
in
mess like
it,
what was it? Captain America? Oh,
yeah.
not Captain
Yeah, but
Marvel.
like here's the thing though. I think that's perfectly fine if you think about it, like taking place in an alternate universe, it's not that it can't work. For example, Guardians of the Galaxy, that, it's all the way in deep space. You could have made that a separate universe and that would have been perfectly fine.
I mean,
All
yeah,
that
by the time
matters
they
is that
jump around,
due
yeah,
due to I'm pretty sure Galactus, he's like a fucking celestial being. He's travels through time and space and like eats planets. I'm sure that the threat of Galactus will move on to the main MCU timeline,
I
and
feel like
that's what's
Galactus, they
gonna.
could definitely make him like an Avengers level threat. Like, there's a lot going for that character.
What do you mean they definitely can make him? He is. He is absolutely gonna be an Avengers level threat. He's gonna be like the main villain of the Fantastic Four like movies, but like either way, he's definitely gonna be in like Secret Wars or whatever.
Yeah,
The only characters we know for a fact are gonna be in Secret Wars are all four members of the Fantastic Four, and Victor Von Doom.
yeah, or at least confirmed now. But obviously, that's going to include a lot of
Yeah,
our other
but
past
that
Avengers as well. But yeah,
but that for the most part, confirms that they're gonna cross over with the other MCU with the MCU.
yeah,
Which even if it is just them coming in to like solve the problem of Galactus, like hey, that's cool. It's cool to see the Fantastic Four. Because they haven't had like a good movie franchise in a while. That movie in 2015 sucked.
yeah. No, it's been a hot minute at least for that one though. But yeah, I think that's the big spill on Comic Con. Got me hyped. I'm really looking forward to the future. And here's hoping the next 2 years of movies should be
Mhm.
solid. And yeah, it'll get me really excited to actually run to the theaters because it's been a while since I felt that rush though. Been a while though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it in terms of our pop culture segment stuff. So we're gonna roll it on over to the next major subject in the show, that being what's in the gaming news. All right, so I did manage to get that transition thing to work out. Gosh dang it, this stupid thing though. Anyway, though, so Grand Festival has been announced for Splatoon 3. And my goodness, like now we're kind of in the end game for Splatoon 3. And we all kind of knew this was coming, Steven, right? Like, once we knew, they said originally when Splatoon 3 came out, that we're going to get like 2 years worth of updates. And then after that,
Yeah.
that's just going to be it, though. So we're down to the point where, iconically, I guess now it's just a tradition. Usually, the last major Splatfest is the one that kind of determines where the story will go for the next
Mhm.
game in the series, though. So now we're at this point where whatever happens within this one theme between Splatoon 3 is going to probably determine some major story beat stuff that's going to happen in Splatoon 4. But Steven, let the people know what our choices are when you're choosing these teams.
So your choices are Squid Sisters for Team Past, Off the Hook for Team Present, and Deep Cut for Team Future.
Yeah. So Steven, choose wisely. What's
I'm
the
choosing
correct?
present. I'm choosing
Okay.
present.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness we're on the same team. All right. I'm just making sure because
I want
again, no
things to stay. I want things to stay how they are forever.
Okay, so make sure there's no division up on this podcast. Yes, I'm on team present because man, because I'm like, yeah, you had the different, obviously the different idols and stuff representing the three different choices and stuff. But no, yeah, big Pearl and Marina fans. So yeah, we got to go with team present for the win though. Now, could it be a dull kind of decision in terms of how they can handle the story? Possibly, but as we kind of
It doesn't
saw with
matter.
it really doesn't matter because they were able to incorporate the other decision from Splatoon 2 to 3 within the DLC of, Splatoon 3.
Yeah,
So we'll probably get it implemented one way or the other. It's just, do you have it sooner or rather
yeah.
later?
And even then, the chaos theme in Splatoon 3 hardly matters.
It really didn't. The order
Like,
one felt like
I
it was more important
yeah,
than the
yeah.
than the other
Well, yeah.
one.
I feel like that's the thing. I feel like it was less of which one is gonna be important in Splatoon 3, and more of which one are we gonna make a bunch more content for the DLC expansion.
Yeah.
They definitely felt like they had more time to cook because I don't really like side order all that much gameplay wise. The more I've played it,
Oh no, I
but
really don't either.
the fact of the matter is, it's very stylish, and like the HUD, the music, the effects when you go into a stage, the glitchiness of it all, it's cool.
Oh yeah, no.
It
Those
it's a
those
it,
aspects were cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's got a lot of style to it. So like, I like that. I don't know, like if we're talking past, present, future, Nintendo, they could do like, when I think past and I think Nintendo, I think, like a old Japanese, like old Japanese inspired Nintendo game,
Mhm. Yeah,
or
and
something like Bowser's Kingdom looks in Mario Odyssey type of deal, but like an entire Splatoon game stylized around that.
Yeah, and I
I
feel
don't
like
I, I don't
anything
know.
futuristic might be kind of akin or similar to what we kind of gotten within the DLC for Splatoon 3 with Side Order. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting though. But I'm thinking if we go with present, it's just going to pick up right where we kind of left off with the story of Splatoon 3's main story. And if you know anything about the mammalians and the way how they kind of ended that saga off and all the lore about what happened with the Inklings and stuff, then yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. I saw some things out there on Twitter where it's like, well, what if it's the past and we get to see the Great Turf War or something? I was like, nah, that's definitely like DLC worthy. Like, I feel like save that mess for that, where it gets a
Well,
little bit of better treatment.
I was about to say you could do a past DLC and a future DLC and make the or yeah, because I don't know. I feel like Nintendo definitely expects present to win, and even if I'm not gonna be that type of guy, but if the Splatfests are rigged, then
If they're
present would
rigged,
probably are fucking rigged. Let's
yeah.
be honest. With how fast that they start making these new Splatoon games, Zard, they definitely have been working on Splatoon 3 ever since they finished Animal Crossing. and that
Oh
was
yeah,
only
yeah,
short, and that was only shortly after the final Splatfest for Splatoon 2, which was in 2019. They are definitely hard at work already on Splatoon 4 and just waiting for the Splatfest to be finished, probably. I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like if you have present for the main game, you could tackle some stuff that's like, I don't know, maybe our present. Like
yeah,
make
no,
it
because they had to, or at least now I feel like they already got the, or at least they have to. Because like in order to offer themes and stuff like that, you have to have at least a basic storyline presence of like
yeah.
what you want to do with Splatoon 4. At least one department that's wants to work with the story. That there's obviously a whole nother department that
Yeah.
got to actually work with the actual gameplay and stuff. So got to split this thing up into chunks though. So yeah, at least for the decisions for what you get to do, yeah, it's just those three different choices. With it being a grand quote unquote
Mm,
festival, it's longer than the traditional 48 hours. We're gonna have 72 hours. So
yeah.
technically you can play it for portions of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before it all ends. So I like the a little bit of extra time and stuff because I'm expecting for this one, Steven, we should get unique maps. I don't care. They ain't got no excuse now. It's the
I think we're
last
getting
hurrah.
one.
We're gonna
I
have
th-
to have a unique map.
I you want to the monkey's paw curls, Zard. The monkey's paw is coming for you. It's gonna be we're specifically only gonna get a new map for tricolor.
Well, that's probably what oh shoot. Well, hmm, hmm. You probably wouldn't be wrong if that does
Yeah,
happen.
but no, I think we're gonna get something far more interesting than that in this Splatfest. Which it's kind of supported by leaks, but like I'm not, I'm taking educated guesses on this as well. There's a lot of people speculating that Big Run is gonna factor in somehow.
Mm. Which that would be kind of cool because they got the extra time, so they could kind of implement it quite well if they do it right. So it'll be kind of nice to see some kind of salmon run related event happening up
Mm,
in here.
mm.
Have Lil Jug call these people out, be like, "Bro, we need to get you into work because we got all these fish around and we gotta get rid of these stinking sardines, man. You're making the whole place stink. We need to hire
Well,
these people to get them out."
I seen another theory that the choice might not even matter this time. Maybe something to do with a time machine will just what if like the next theme of the next Splatoon game is like time displacement? What if stuff from the past, present, and future all collides together?
Oh, good gracious. Oh,
I think
no.
it'd be I think it would be kind of cool if like whatever the ending of the grand festival is a huge cliffhanger for Splatoon 4.
Mm. No, I can see that too. I can see that too.
Like I know that since it's a live service game, they probably won't want to end anything on a cliffhanger because you got to go straight back to the main plaza after that. Like theoretically, nothing's gonna happen to any of the main idols, for example. But it would be kind of cool if, like, something involving the single player area. You know that giant dome from the single player.
Yeah. No, I'll
Like if
give you a
something
better one.
happened with that,
I give you a better one. They off Cali. They just killed
okay.
Cali and
What's
Marie.
wrong with Cali? What? No, what fucking happened with them?
No, they're old and crusty, man. We need these newer ones like Shiver Fry, Carla Marina. We need the young ones. Get rid of the old ones. They've been
Yeah.
involved within
Okay,
the main story for too long. We need
gotta
some
be
fresh
careful.
blood pumped up in here. Yes, I am. I
Okay.
know I got to be careful though, but forget them Splatoon 1 fans, man. I'm telling you, man. That they're getting a little old up in there. We're getting a little seasoned. Some people say that too. I don't know. I'm just messing around here though, but I know they won't jump off the deep end like that. But it's cool at least with all these different decisions and stuff. And I think what is it slated for, Steven? In the month of September?
Yes,
Should be?
it's
Yeah.
like September 5th, I think. It's early in September.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this, and with it being so grand, it's not just that they are selling some merchandise and stuff on the Nintendo's website and stuff. I think you can pre-order some of this stuff now though. But you're able to get the three Splatfest tees for past, present, and future, so you can get that. I think there's also like one of those little wristband little things that have like the arrow or whatever on it, and I think that's kind of like a lottery in Japan. I don't know how they're handling that for over here in America though. It's gonna be odd. And then also we managed to get some new amiibo, Steven. remind you, the last amiibo we got was Sora when that dropped earlier this year. I think it was like January or February of this year though. And for a lot of people, are like, dang, are we getting any new amiibo? Is it gonna be a hot minute though? And lo and behold, we get the what was it? The looks from Artana, however you pronounce Alterna.
Like
There we go.
alternate.
Yeah. The Alterna outfits, we managed to get that from for Callie and Marie, and then we get the side order DLC outfits for Pearl and Marina though. So I already got those for Amiibo pre-order and stuff because I like to have all the Splatoon Amiibos. I find all of them pretty cool, pretty unique and stuff. And I think that's about it in terms of, well, most part in terms of good positive news for Splatoon. There is on the other side a little bit of negative stuff. But was there anything else on the positive side, Steven, you wanted to mention? Or was that it?
I was just gonna say, like involving my predictions, I think, I think the grand festival is gonna be happening, and I feel like for every single player, the HUD will be, or the hub world will be completely different, because they showed that giant stage, so I feel like for those 3 days, we're gonna be in an
Oh
entirely new
yeah.
hub,
No, yeah, that would be kind of nice, a
and
fresh of breath air,
maybe
and
just.
it'll kind of incentivize people a little bit more. Like, oh, you got to at least go in here and check it out. That's a one and done deal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like literally will only happen once. I feel like with how they're hyping it as the grand festival, like Final Fest, it was just the final festival for that game. This is like the combination of Splatoon 1, 2, and 3. Something big is gonna happen here. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think Salmonids are gonna invade the arena and maybe, a big run. This new stage that's gonna be a tricolor map will also be a new big run map.
Hmm.
Maybe introduce a new king salmonid or something because there's only three of them in the game right now. People thought a fourth one was gonna come. Maybe have it so like you could see like deep cut and all of them fighting against the salmonids because they say in some of those like those news lines when you boot up the game,
Oh yeah.
they say that they like do salmon run shifts in then their off time. Be
Oh
kind of cool to see them helping you out a bit.
yeah. I
I
can
don't know,
see
just
that. I can see
you
that.
could do a
Something to
lot of
shake it
you could
up.
do a lot of cool stuff. I also just hope we get cool interactions between all of them. Like when you open up the game and get the news, I want to see all was it all eight? No, all seven of our idols all talking to each other. That'd be cool. Like
Oh
unique
yeah.
dialogue between all of them.
Feel like you kind of have to, or it would be like a weird, unique thing where it's like normally with most Splatfests is just deep cut talking. Like imagine they're talking about this stuff and then they get interrupted and it goes to the cast for the Squid Sisters and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it goes to the cast of Off the Hook and then they're just kind of bouncing or do like a three-way call thing and have like three smaller screens up on one big screen or something like that would be cool.
yeah.
I feel like they need to do something like that. It's
It's
Grand
gonna be
Festival,
cool.
all three of these, representations and stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of good ways they can kind of portray this one last big
Yeah.
hurrah for Splatoon 3.
I
All
just
right.
hope Splatoon 4 does better because there's a lot of issues I have with Splatoon 3.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Well,
all.
that's
Well,
that's it in terms of the state of Splatoon, at least for the positive side of things, though. But while we're addressing everything Splatoon, there was a little bit of negative news as well, and this kind of goes all the way back to the Nintendo World Champion, not Nintendo World Championship,
no.
the World Championships that Nintendo hosted for like Mario Kart, Splatoon, and all of that. That's what I meant to say. Because apparently the team that won that whole entire World Championship, which was called Jackpot, they're really good. They're a really competitive team. Just gameplay wise, they're really cool. However, some things and some unfortunate stuff happened to come to light, and I won't go too deep up in it outside of just saying that, they were saying some things that they weren't supposed to. Some things that kind of border on, or not border, literally some things that a lot of people will call racist and stuff like that, though. I won't get into like the
They were.
nitty gritty of specifics of like who said what. I ain't going into
Oh
all of those,
yeah.
he said,
I'm
she said
I'm
stuff, though.
I'm not
But
I'm not doxing people, but what they said was absolutely racist.
yeah. So if you want to hear all the little nitty gritty details, you're going to have to do that little bit of research yourself, though. But however, Nintendo versus made an addressment on this one, and they're basically saying, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and Actually, you know what? Hey, let me just go ahead and read the statement so that way there's not a lot,
Yeah.
we ain't beating around the bush on this one though. So, Nintendo came out and said it has come to our attention that certain members of Team Jackpot, the team that recently won Splatoon 3 World Championship, acted in a manner that is not in line with our community guidelines while playing Splatoon 3, uh, the game. As a result, Team Jackpot's win will be considered vacated and the team will not receive trophies associated with the event.
Mm.
Additionally, the in game splash tag banner commemorating their win will be adjusted via an upcoming software update. Nintendo cares deeply about our players and our community, and we take responsibility to uphold our community guidelines seriously. Now, here's the major kicker on this one, Steven. They won that mess back in early this year,
Oh,
January or February or something like
no, it
that.
was only like 2 months ago. I remember that
Was it
news
really 2
post
months
going
ago?
out recent. It was not that long ago.
Well, yeah, regardless, it wasn't that long ago, but they sat on that win for a while. And for a second, I thought they had like a championship thing. Like there was something that they held up. It was like a plate or something. Maybe they were going to get individual
Special
trophies.
controller, I think. I think they were each. You get like special controllers from
Yeah,
Nintendo for winning these events.
yeah. And I know there was a plate that they hold up that said Nintendo or, Splatoon 3 World Champions or whatever, though. I think they were getting that, but maybe they were also getting individual stuff as well, something akin to like controllers as well as like trophies. That's what they said in this little statement here, though. So they were going to get all of
Mm,
that stuff. However,
mm,
even after
mm,
the event has closed, and
mm.
whatever they were saying in some of these voice calls and stuff with other people, it might have not been officially within a tournament thing though. Like that's why you got to watch what you say on the internet because the internet never forgets, and they got called out on it. And I did like Nintendo Versus way of handling this. Like they just didn't do like a hush hush or just like really quickly like address it. They did their research on the back end. I did some digging and looking up on that though.
Yeah.
And they did
Nin-
enough research so that way they can come out with a statement like this. So
yeah.
Nintendo's versus team is really
Nintendo
good.
Nintendo is not stupid. They are experts when it comes to protecting their brand recognition. They don't want people to think of Splatoon as like this racist game, like people think of Call of Duty on the original Xbox 360.
Oh gosh, some of the things
Like,
that people
like
said
they,
in the
yeah,
calls back
exactly.
then, my
No,
goodness.
when people think of Xbox 360 Modern Warfare calls, that's the only thing they think of, Zard. Nintendo doesn't want that for Splatoon.
Yeah. And
Nintendo doesn't want kids to see those. They don't want kids to see Jackpot as role models, I guess.
yeah, and here's the thing though too. Let's say the Nintendo Switch 2 implements voice chat, obviously not just by the mobile app anymore. Let's say
Please
they
be
do it on a
Discord.
yeah, they do it like on a system level, like PlayStations or and slash or also implement Discord or something like that. You don't want a way for other people to kind of go through and you're supposed to have a great time, playing these games and stuff, interacting with friends or some randos out there every now and then though. And you have experiences such like this. They don't want it to kind of borderline on the way how some of the Smash Brothers community has happened in the past. We heard about those stories. I'm not trying to dig all that all up all over again, though. But we don't want to open up a weird can of worms. So Nintendo's just trying to nip this mess down in the bud. Because I was wondering how they were going to treat with the splash tag banners and stuff, and whether or not they were going to actually address it. So I do like how they did manage to come around on it while it might have took like a little longer than what we might have thought, hey, I still appreciate the effort though. So Nintendo going well over and beyond what a lot of other companies might do, or they might, a lot of other companies probably would turn the cold shoulder, but hey, they're looking out for these communities and stuff. So that's just something I kind of appreciate.
It's cool. I enough people said something for Nintendo to look into it, which obviously, like it's a good thing Nintendo looks into stuff like this. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Like this, I'm sure, Zard, after everything that happened with the Smash community in 2020, Nintendo doesn't just let shit like this slide
Oh
anymore.
no, no, no. I think that's their main reason why they
Nintendo,
don't.
like, I'm not Nintendo. I could not, like, listen, all I do, what I do at my job, I take customer service calls over the phone, you know, fixing mistakes and listening to people's complaints. I could only imagine being a fucking Nintendo service representative. Hearing a parent on the phone screaming about how, oh, my son is playing Smash and this game's, pedophiles play this game, blah 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 blah.
Oh gosh, no, especially after Nintendo kind of built up that brand loyalty of
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, we're a family friendly company." Yes, they do release team related games,
Okay. Yeah.
Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and stuff,
People.
but do your research, parents, and you know what games to get for your kids or your
Well, yeah.
teenagers or whoever happens to be living in your household.
People are stupid. They correlate family friendly with kid friendly. They are not the same thing. They are never the same thing. Family friendly usually means that most ages can enjoy something. Kid friendly means that like it's usually meant for kids.
Yeah.
Like when people call Nintendo games baby games, like fucking okay.
Ugh,
Like
goodness.
like my brother can play Mario 3 doesn't mean he's going to beat it, doesn't mean he's going to understand everything in it.
Yeah.
No, but like back to the topic at hand, like I could totally see why Nintendo immediately did this. The fact that they're even going in and changing the splash tag is fucking brutal. Like they are being wiped from fucking existence in this game.
Basically. So I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, technically, there's probably something about the rules and guidelines where it's like, hey, if you act up or something happens, yada yada yada, it could technically go to the second place
Of
person,
course it is.
which I
Of
think
course.
second place, I think was Japan. I think they did come in second place.
Was Jackpot not Japan as well?
No,
Or like
jackpot
some
was
members
no
were?
no jackpot was America. And I think in the
Okay.
championships it was America versus Japan. But I know in the semifinals it was Nintendo or not Nintendo, America versus Europe's team. And Europe almost beat them, but then they came around and flipped the script. Like the semifinals for that was kind of lit though. But yeah, that's to the best of my memory how the stuff played out in that tournament.
I would have to watch it.
But yeah, overall, I do like the competitive play in Splatoon. I'm glad that Nintendo, came to reason on all of this, kind of squashed this beef and stuff. And at least now they know that these people are gonna make an example out of these people and say, hey, look, we ain't gonna let this mess fly. So you're gonna participate in our tournaments. Hey, you better come in here with a clean script and a clean act and you don't come up in here with your dirty laundry up in here though, because
Yeah.
man, we'll throw that mess on the curb. We ain't messing with around messing around with that mess though. But
Yeah, I think they were also doing it on public Discord servers too. So like,
yeah.
yeah,
So I think outside of that, that's it in terms of the overall state of address for Splatoon. Everything from the good, the bad, and the ugly. We covered about everything up in here though. So you'll hear our thoughts on this once the grand festival actually takes place in the month of September. Which, gosh dang, what was that exact date? It
I think it
was
was like September
September
5th.
12th. September 12th.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
wrong.
It's close to the anniversary when the game actually dropped out. It's
That was
like
the
right.
ninth.
Yeah. So it's really close around that. So yeah,
Mark my words, there's gonna be a time machine and it's gonna fucking mess up, and then Splatoon 4 is gonna be teased.
bro. All right. Well, we'll see how that goes, Steven. We'll see how that goes. All right, but that's it in terms of the state of Splatoon. So we'll go ahead and roll over to the next topic because we finally managed to get revealed of who Emio is, the smiling man. Remember, they dropped the trailer out on YouTube, and it was just a tease, like a actual dude with a paper bag up on there. And then it was like a week later, then we finally managed to get the reveal of it though, and that happened like what 3 days after we did our last podcast episode. I was like, leave it up to
Yeah,
Nintendo to do that though. So now we're coming around with our full fledged thoughts up on this thing though. I dropped out a couple of videos on my channel talking about it though. But Steven, how do you feel about potentially everybody and their mama was thinking this was gonna be a horror style game, something akin to like a survival, potentially a survival horror, or what's the other type of horror called? It's like the one that plays around with you though, but it's not like survival horror like Resident Evil. Like where you
psychological horror like
psychological.
Doki
There we
Doki
go.
Literature Club. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so
which this game's which honestly is a better description from what we actually have. No, but like, okay, so listen, I was technically right, but not in the way that I expected. I was my guess last time, I was going all in that this was going to be internally developed by Nintendo's main studios. Like not I said it was going to be I What? I said this was gonna be by the Zelda studio, I think. Which I'm wrong about that. But like it's by I guess what used to be the Metroid studio, the guy behind Metroid's helping with it, and whatever studio ported over the Famicom Detective Club games is helping with it.
Yeah, I think it's just the person directing, the Metroid
Yeah.
Dread games.
But yeah,
He's working on
yeah,
it, but probably with a whole nother crew of people because, making a visual novel game, you
yeah,
don't need that many people working
yeah.
on this thing. But
But
yeah,
this is the first rated M game internally developed by Nintendo ever.
yeah. Which is
Like,
crazy. Oh, goodness.
and I honestly am all for it. Like, it's not, it's a visual novel. It's a Famicom Detective Club, Emio the Smiling Man, or whatever the title is. Which honestly, it's still kind of creepy in a way. Like a lot of people were hoping it. A lot of people were disappointed, saying, I wish it was I wish it was its own title. I wish it was an original IP. But like, aren't Nintendo fans always the ones crying about bringing back that IP?
Man, good gracious. I'm glad you mentioned this because people can't have their cake and eat it too. Because you have
Fucking
people on one side saying, bring back old IPs. They bring back something that's been 30 years
yeah.
old, all the way on the original Famicom and stuff. Hasn't even been localized for the Western
Yeah.
audience and stuff. Come back with a remake of it, and then they be like, well, this ain't the one that we asked for. I'm like, well, what do y'all want?
Okay. Have Nintendo fans not fucking learned yet that Nintendo doesn't care until they do? Nintendo cares when they fucking realize, oh, we can make money off of this, or oh, we have a good idea. They specifically said they couldn't think of a good idea for F-Zero, so they didn't make an F-Zero game. Battle Royales got popular, they thought of an idea. Simple as that. People don't understand that Nintendo's not just going to release new games on a fucking whim unless it's one of their star franchises. If it's Mario, yes, they're just going to make new games. But they're not going to make a new fucking F-Zero unless they have a plan for it. Same for Star Fox. We're not getting a new Star Fox game for a fucking while. But
Oh,
besides that,
we may get one on Switch too, but I think the
oh,
Switch generation's
probably
out.
like
Switch generation, we
yeah,
just ain't getting it.
it's due like 10 years, but back to the main thing with with series like F-Zero, series like what was another big one, Punch Out. People were saying, bring back these old series. Famicom Detective Club hasn't gotten a new game in fucking 30 years.
It's 30 years.
It's
Uh,
one of the old Nintendo series, and just because it's a visual novel, people want to throw it away. These, this it's like similar to when RPG, people get mad that a game's an RPG. People used to always get mad about RPGs.
I
Yeah, a
mean, shoot,
visual
we
novel is not
haven't.
necessarily.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a visual novel is not necessarily the most interesting game, but it's like gameplay wise, but that's not the point.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been some directs in the past, like when you mentioned about RPGs, where yes, some directs I will admit are heavy on RPGs. That doesn't affect me because I love RPGs and stuff. RPGs, platformers, and stuff like those are the games I really kind of resonate with the most, though. But that thought aside, like, oh shoot, I challenge y'all out there to at least try one of the remake games because obviously if you're a fan of visual novel games, you probably did try these out, or maybe you're going to get around to it at some point though. But at least when I was playing Famicom Detective Club Missing Air, there's some dark mess and some dark subjects up in that game that I certainly wasn't expecting from a Nintendo game. And there were some dark moments where you kind of got to the climax of the story where I was playing in the dark, mind you, and it got me to kind of jump up in my seat just a little bit because I knew something was about to happen. I just didn't know when. And I was like, oh shoot. I was like, Nintendo, that was with a rated T rated game. I could only imagine what they're gonna do with a rated M kind of game.
Yeah,
And like we're talking about some dark stuff like people. Can I say that on YouTube? Yeah, I think I
but
can. No, because like remember we talked about the past thing though. I can't say this one word though, but like hanging and stuff, like someone hanged their own self or something like that
you
though.
can't. Yeah, you can't say you can say unalive.
Yeah. Yeah, where we're trying to beat around the bush is the one that starts with an S. We can't say that one up in there, but apparently there's going to be a moments like that up in this game where people are going to off themselves, and I'm like, oh my
When
goodness,
people Suicune themselves there, like the Pokemon
yeah, there we go.
Suicune there.
But yeah, so honestly, yeah, there's some dark stuff even when the two remade games, and I can only imagine how much deeper they're going to go now that the floodgates are open up in this mess though. And I think the one cool thing I like about this is number one, we're going to get the game physically now. It's not going to be only via the the eShop and stuff. So I already placed my order with Best Buy. So I do appreciate that. Unfortunately, if you want the limited edition, that's only in Japan only. So you have to find a way to import it. Luckily, I think the English version is on the cartridge. And so unlike I think the first one with the remake. So I think there's a workaround with it this time though. But overall, I'm really looking forward to this game though. Surprisingly, we had so many visual novel games between the Capcom games with like Ace Attorney 4, 5, 6. We got Miles Edgeworth stuff coming out in September with those two games. Remind you, Nintendo dropped another Code Recollection in the month of January earlier this year. And now in August, down to drop in now Emio the Smiling Man. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we had a lot of games this year
Yeah.
within this genre.
Yeah, no, the fact that Nintendo just doing the weird marketing thing with this game actually made me care about it more because now I'm actually interested in trying the other ones.
Yeah,
Look how that works.
yeah, and that's the thing though too. It's not like it's gonna break the bank to try the other games out. Like since you're really only gonna get them digitally, the $30 a pop for to get the one who stands behind and the missing air each, or get them both together at the same time and pay 60. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get through. Yes, there are some things with the games where you might have to look up some things because I did get lost at a couple of times in the game because there are some things I don't think they managed to perfectly sweeten the deal with in terms of like, bringing forth this old game into a modern era though, in terms of like, potentially getting lost because you got to go through so many menus and stuff. But outside of that, like the animations and stuff and having like all the voice acting and stuff be there, chef's kiss. Now I'm just grateful because within this the Smiling Man, it should we should have English voice acting, whereas the first two remakes is just all Japanese dub. Which
Well, yeah,
to me this felt like an anime, so I was able to get around with it though. But it'll be nice to hear that.
this is gonna be a new game, right? So yeah, I completely expect that.
Yeah. So I think outside of that, that's all my thoughts on Emio the Smiling Man though. Unfortunately, it was not the Happy Mask Salesman though, or is it? I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah, the identity of Emio is obviously gonna just be someone in that universe. It's not gonna be someone we know. Be funny if it was though.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be funny though, but I don't know. We'll see who we're gonna be like Scooby Doo up in this game though. I always like the murder mystery kind of related things like crime solving with a
Mhm.
mystery and stuff. I think that's the reason why I like the Famicom series so much, as well as Ace Attorney. I literally well. I'll get into it whenever we're talking about what games we've been playing though. But yeah, I really do like this series. I still need to get around to playing the Missing Air. That's the one I'm missing. Oh gosh, no pun intended though. Oh, wait, did I say the
Mm,
missing air? No, the one who stands behind. My bad. The one who stands behind is the
yeah,
one that I need to play. I
that's
finished
the
the missing
second
air.
one.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like just back, I was just thinking, I'm very intrigued what this game is gonna have in it because what was the Australian like trailer? It had was there like references to domestic abuse, unaliving, uh, just just regular graphic violence. I don't know if there was any gore mention.
Mm,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
so
gonna
I'll be
just the
surprised if
fact,
they don't
just
say it because it technically kind of was there in the remake game. So I'm thinking it
just
probably still be there.
the fact that there is a Nintendo character that is canonically a serial killer is just a funny thought.
And it's funny because people are already saying, "Put this dude in Smash." You know good and well Nintendo ain't gonna put this man in Smash.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
Bayonetta's in Smash.
no, no, no. I mean the actual Emio dude himself. Like if we're gonna get anybody in Smash, it's gonna be the main dude leading or Tachibana leading. It's gonna be one of them two, and they will have a weird old move set. It'd be like putting Phoenix
I'm
right in the
pretty
Smash.
sure one of them was a trophy in Smash Melee or an assist trophy in one of them was in
Assist,
another Smash game.
it's either assist trophy or
Did Melee
an
have
actual
assist trophies?
trophy. Melee did have trophies because I think that's how we had some things with Marth and
No,
stuff.
assist trophies.
Oh, assist trophies. No, I don't think so. That wasn't until Brawl, wasn't it?
Then then it was a regular trophy because
Mm,
I seen a picture of that character in Melee, so it had to have been a trophy. It was like a
okay.
female character from those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks cool though. I was for the most part right that it was gonna be a Nintendo thing. None of us expected this to be an IP that they already existed.
No, yeah, I think yeah. Actually, I think that's where everybody was kind of leaning at though. So we don't have to wait too much longer because the game is coming out. Oh gosh, next month, and like July is almost over. Steven, we only got like a couple more days, and then we're in the month of August though.
And
So
then
yeah,
Echoes of Wisdom's already gonna be at the beginning of well, like yeah, September. Like we're already very close to a lot of those games from the direct.
I'm trying to enjoy all this time where it's this kind of a slower dead period because I think the second when Emio comes out and when Visions of Mana come out for me personally, it's a wrap because then it's like I think I'll have a game coming out like once at the longest will be like every 3 weeks, but sometimes I have games coming out sooner than that. So it's gonna have to be a wild time, a wild time. But yeah, I think that's all of our thoughts on Emio the Smiling Man, though. So we'll go ahead and move over to our last major news topic. That being the whole debacle and stuff that was going down with Nintendo's new Joycon Grip charging station thing that they dropped, which honestly, on paper, if this were to come back and were to release in 2017, nobody would have looked at this thing funny. They'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, we had the charging Joy-Con grip thing that released in 2017 along with the other Switch hardware and stuff. However, the fact that this is coming out 7 years into the Switch's life will be 8 years when March rolls back around. And that made people scratch their heads like, wait a minute, why in the world are we getting
Mm.
this nowadays? Like, obviously, you have third party people that will go through and make some stuff, though. But the drop out a new piece of hardware like this
I
out of
I
nowhere,
think
ugh,
I think this thing is relatively important. If you ask me, I think this piece of hardware is extremely important in knowing what Nintendo's gonna do next. For a couple reasons, okay? Here's my detective work, okay? I'm fucking Sherlock Holmes, Zard, okay?
where's the hat?
W- just pretend I have it on.
Okay.
Alright, so first things first. Fact that Joy-Cons, the fact that they have a Mario Party game coming out, which is gonna, you could use single Joy-Cons with that. And they also have what was the other game coming out? They have Mario Party coming out and also NES World Championship, which you can charge the NES controllers on that thing, which they show.
No, I think that one's really important with the
It
NES
was double,
controllers
yeah,
because
it's kind of a double purpose machine. It allowed for a couple different things to charge because the Joy-Con charging grip that they originally showed did not allow for that.
yeah, so you have to charge it on the actual Switch itself when it's like
Yes.
docked or whatever, which that's always a pain for me. I'm like, oh gosh, I have to
Mm.
put it up on this
And
thing.
obviously there's no way to play it when those are in. You can't play it in handheld because the buttons are all fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's true. So it's like literally you got to charge those things when you're not really playing the Switch whatsoever. Like I guess right before you
Yeah,
go to bed or something.
which they hold a good battery life, but still, it's still annoying. Um,
Yeah.
the other reason why I think this is important, I think this is a testament to the next system, whatever it is, whatever the next system is. It's gonna be a Switch successor. I think this is kind of confirms that it's gonna allow for functionality of the Joy Cons, like how the Wii U allowed you to use Wii remotes, which sounds obvious, but I still thought it was good to mention. So like the next system will let you use Joy Cons, which they're releasing a Mario Party game. You would expect them to want to be able to bring have multiple controllers, and I think this is the final nail on the coffin that the next system's gonna be backwards compatible
No, I feel like it
because
has to be. It
because
has to
if
be.
you're gonna because Nintendo releasing a new console, that's the perfect opportunity to change up the controllers or add different form factor to the Joy Cons or something. But the fact that they're releasing this tells me that whatever the next system's Joy Cons are gonna be somewhat different because they're
Yeah.
making a charging stand specifically for the old ones. Makes me think that the new ones are not gonna fit on the console.
Yeah, because obviously, if you have backwards compatibility, it's important to have every piece of hardware working previously on that Switch will work with what will be the Switch too. Because even if
Yeah.
you look at games like what was it, Ring
Mhm.
Fit Adventure, you had
Mhm.
to play that with Joy Cons, or Super Mario Party, you had to play
Yeah.
that with Joy Cons. So you got to find a way to charge it for those that let's say if
Yeah.
you missed the Switch generation and you just didn't happen to buy a Switch. However, you're getting in on Switch too because it's
Mm.
all back compat with Switch and stuff. So it's like, oh, okay, you bought these other Joy Cons and stuff to work with some of these older Switch games. You don't have no way of charging these things because they won't attach to your Switch 2.
Yeah.
That
And then
makes sense for this accessory to come out.
yeah, Nintendo refusing to slow down with anything. Like, them constantly showing new Switch games. It is extremely obvious until they announce it that the next system will have backwards compatibility. If it doesn't, I'll go on record. I'll eat a sock if the next system does not have backwards compatibility.
Hold the phone, Steve. Okay, hold on.
Or
I'm writing this
I'll
down. I'm gonna be
attempt.
like Patrick off of
I
SpongeBob.
will
Write that down. Write that down.
yeah, I'll attempt to eat a sock because I'm not gonna stomach that. I'll attempt to eat a sock if I'm wrong. But like they're not fucking releasing a Mario Party and doing all that DLC for Mario Kart 8. Like yeah, it could have just been to support the Switch midway through its life, but like it also kind of is setting up their next system with a whole catalog of 7 years worth of games for newcomers. Like how
Yeah.
PlayStation had that PS Plus collection. For if you bought PS Plus, here's like 20 games from the PS4. Like it's a good idea to give like your consumer like a nice bundle or like a nice couple recommended games to get into alongside. You finish your launch title. Once you finish Metroid Prime 4, here's a couple games you can play, for example. Just an example. But yeah, a Mario Party releasing at the end of a console's life is not that uncommon, Zard. But what is uncommon is for a Mario Party to release at the end of a system's life, and then that system to not have backwards compatibility. Because if you think about it, the Wii U is really the only one that did not have backwards compatibility going into the next one.
Oh, for console wise,
Yeah, because
yeah.
like
Yeah,
all
because
of
GameCube
like
onward had it up until Wii U, and then
yeah,
Wii U to Switch
because
because you're going from disc based to cartridge. It made
Because
sense.
yeah, like Nintendo released games late into the GameCube's life because they knew they were going to be playable on Wii.
Yeah.
Like Mario Party 7 was pretty goddamn late for GameCube. That was like a 2005 GameCube game. But the fact of the matter is that game was playable on Wii perfectly fine. So like it didn't matter. Nintendo's used to doing this. Remember Pokemon Black and White came out while the 3DS was out, I
Oh
think?
yeah, yeah. That came out. What was it? 2000. Well,
Black and White 2, I think, were out when the
oh, white
3DS was
too.
out.
Oh, I was thinking about black and white. No, not white. Not black and white. Black and white too. Yeah, you're right. Because that did come out when
Yeah.
the three. I feel like the 3DS came out somewhere in the springish or summer-ish time, around that point. And then obviously those games come out in the holiday. And we were thinking, oh, should it be on 3DS? And I was like, what? Why is this on
Mm,
DS? Obviously, the install base
mm,
wasn't there on 3DS yet, so the Pokemon Company wasn't going to
yeah.
make that move that quick.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
kind of I am now just thinking about the fact, I'm talking way too much about a goddamn accessory, but at the same time, it is a good question. Why would they make such a simple and stupid accessory 7 years in? For
No,
a reason probably. There's
unless someone was like looking at these documents and stuff, it's like, all right, we're all good, right? We got everything out the door that we should before getting all this Switch 2 stuff. And I
yeah,
could just imagine an employee holding up the papers like, wait, we forgot to release this doc. And
it's
they're like,
yeah.
what? And it's like, we got a lot of them sitting over here. Everybody just forgot about it. It's like, well, gosh dang it, we need to get this stuff out of here. Let's go ahead and release this thing. I don't care it's 7 years late. We just got to sell this mess.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I don't see that happening.
I think yeah, they just want to phase out the Joy-Cons, but they need to give like a proper device that they can sell to to keep them with for the Switch 2. Because that's going to be a really easy way to, just get people to play your couch co-op games. We released Mario Party on the Switch 1 and hey, the Switch 2 doesn't, imagine yeah, think about that. Imagine buying Mario Party on the Switch 1 and then buying the Switch 2, and then you don't have any controllers to play Mario Party with your friends anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine you'd have to use Joycon 2s or something. It'd be stupid.
Yeah, it'd be dumb. So hopefully, all of our pro controllers and stuff that should work. I mean, the only
Oh,
things
well,
I feel like
fucking
they can
yeah.
do enhancements on that would be like if they go
Okay.
the PS5 route and do like what was it, haptic feedback stuff, like do something with the triggers or something like that, or a
Yes.
crazier rumble. I could see that, but still have pro controllers still be supported and stuff. So that way, if you want to do multiplayer and you're not actually dishing out all this extra money for controllers, because I have every limited edition of Switch Pro controllers, everything from like Smash Bros. Ultimate all the way down to the Splatoon 3 ones, and it would be nice to be able to know I can still use those for multiplayer. While yes, I'll be using the new controller and stuff, but if I got friends or family
Yeah.
over, I can just pass them all those other ones. Those
Mm.
should work perfectly fine because I don't think they're going to
You
change
want to
anything
know
with the
what?
buttons or the stick layouts.
You want to know what I would love, Zard?
What?
I would love a Switch controller with those rubber grips from like the Xbox Elite controllers,
That'll be nice. Hmm.
or even just customizable buttons in any way,
Oh,
whether
to be
that's
able to
paddles
be
on
able
the
to
back,
pop it. I don't know if they'll do the paddles on the back. It's like that's definitely high
even just
end. Like,
one set of
mm,
them.
mm.
Just one set of them would be nice. And
My
you know,
main thing is
if they
if
were
they just
built,
add a headphone jack. That's my main
yeah.
thing. Put that mess
But
up in there.
think about that. Just adding one extra set of buttons to the controller, you can make so many more button options in games. So many games run out of buttons,
Yeah. Or at
which
least do
that
something with accessibility. Like, we saw some stuff with PS5 and the way how they handle their accessibility things. Even if we just get the basic controller, I still want to see other people's needs be met and at least Nintendo take a crack or a shot
yeah.
at it. I will at least love to see that.
Do you think the new Joy-Cons, whatever they are gonna still have HD rumble and fucking a camera?
Mm, yeah, I don't see it.
I think they're gonna. It's a hard question because there are games that use that goddamn camera that came out recently, like WarioWare.
Oh, the IR kit. Oh gosh. Hmm.
And HD Rumble's built into the Pro controllers too. HD Rumble's staying. I don't know
Well,
about
no, the
fucking.
Rumble, yes. I don't think about the IR. The IR stuff
I
can
don't
go.
know about the camera. I hope it does because it's funny. But like, yeah, HD Rumble's crazy. Like, have you seen certain games the HD Rumble can make music?
Oh yeah, no. I heard it one time. I put it up to my ear, and it was like a pulse or something, and it kind of sounded like a little water effect. Kind of. I was like, whoa, what the heck?
My favorites is in Mario Wonder. Walking across those music blocks actually plays the notes through the controller.
Ah, yeah,
'Cause
the
it
vibration
really does.
frequency.
It reminds me of the Nintendo Wii because of the fucking speaker on the remote.
Oh yeah.
Every time you pick up a star bit, your controller going wah 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 wah.
Eh, But yeah, I think that might just about do it in terms of our tops on a piece of hardware. I like how we mentioned one piece of hardware. Yeah, we got in a big long conversation about it. And you can only imagine the discourse and stuff that broke out on Twitter and everywhere else, your Reddit forums and stuff, when Nintendo came out with this one little bit of news. And they
Oh
just
my
timed it
God,
with the
Zard.
Nintendo World Championships because it made sense
Yo,
for those NES controllers, but everybody took it another step further.
we've talked about the Switch 2 so many fucking times. When we actually get the Switch 2 reveal, we're gonna be here for 3 hours.
No, that's going to be a dedicated SOS emergency thing depending on what day of the week it happens to be, we'll saddle up on this thing. Though I'll have some footage rolling on this mess. If YouTube allows me to roll this mess and not have any hiccups or whatever, though. But no, we'll be here. We'll be here, bright and bushy tail. Well, you might be asleep, but I'll be here, bright and bushy tail.
I might be at work.
Oh goodness. But yeah, so I think that about does that in terms of all of our different gaming news and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and roll over to the next major topic, that being what you've been playing. All right, Steven. So lately, I think the one thing we've been going through and playing a lot of has been Nintendo World Championships because this game right here, man, it's strangely addicting. It doesn't feel like the game has already been out for like what, almost a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Because even now, when you look back at all of the different events and stuff, like what we had like almost 2 weeks worth of competing in terms of like world championships thus far. So it's
Well,
been pretty cool.
the first one wasn't technically a full week
Oh yeah, I
because it's
guess it technically
Sundays it
was a
ends.
half week. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, but either way, like this, yeah, I completely agree with you about the addicting thing. I think the focus on speed makes it different from NES Remix. NES Remix, the whole focus was getting like a, I think like the score also mattered if I remember correctly. Where like, obviously doing it fast in NES Remix was priority, but like this game has like an actual speedrun timer, the inputs, all that. You are expected they demand perfection. And I think perfection in some of these is really fun to get. Like Mario 3, for example, learning the ins and outs of that game and actually having the little classified information to read and all that. It really does make you feel like a kid again.
Oh yeah, because during that era and stuff, like manuals were actually important because like you
I
boot
wasn't
up a
even
game.
alive. Yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't
you
even
boot up a
alive, but I could
game
still
within
feel
like
it.
the NES, N64 and stuff, and you'd be like, oh, it's just straight up into the thing. You didn't even know how some of the controls were to work if you want to go
Mm,
through and look at those
mm,
instruction manuals and stuff. So, totally different era compared to where we at nowadays where, controls and stuff, they're just kind of showed off in a tutorial or part of the gameplay. Like when you boot up Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's like, hey, run around, do this, or hit X and stuff to start
mm.
ABC and all of that. So yeah,
But yeah.
different era and stuff. So at least when you're looking at the classified stuff, it's like, oh, okay, that looked like it would have came straight out of an instruction booklet
Mm,
or straight out of like a
mm,
magazine like Nintendo Power and stuff. So honestly, I really do like that aspect of it though. And obviously you have 13 different games, everything
mm,
ranging
mm,
from, Super Mario Brothers all the way down to Kirby. And I love all these challenges because some of these games, yes, are a little bit crusty. I will admit that, even though I grew up on the NES and the Nintendo 64 growing up, though. But I think when you take games such as like Metroid 1, which obviously Zero Missions, the better, more definitive version on the GBA, even you take small little segments of that game and put them in the bite sized experiences will actually allow you to appreciate some of these games a little bit more, even looking at games like Kid Icarus and stuff. Obviously, you have well beloved classics like Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers 3. People still like, I think the original Kirby. A lot of people still like that and stuff. Donkey Kong and stuff. So yeah, Legend of Zelda, the first one. So yeah, you have
make
like well loved ones that everybody will still kind of go back to and play every now and then though. But I do like how some of these secondary ones like Ice
mm,
Climbers, the way how some of
mm.
those controllers control and stuff, you know, not everybody's like too hot with that, but within
Yeah,
these bite-sized experiences, not too bad.
I always liked Excite Bike. Now I fucking hate it, but
Oh
like
no,
in the good way.
I was kind of hated it to begin with because I was like, I get the basic concept of going from left to right as fast as you can, but by the time you do some of those master and the challenge ones, oh gosh,
Yes.
I'm
No,
not
but like
probably gonna get an S rank on that.
it's great, but I hate it. No, I think the most interesting thing about this game is how fucking brutal it is. This game is not easy to get S ranks.
Oh no, it ain't. And I felt like I got like maybe close to 40-ish% of all the challenges probably
Yeah.
S ranked at this point.
I have about 80%.
Hmm. Oh, that's
I'm
not bad.
I'm I'm doing the Lost Levels 5-star challenge right now. It is hard. These challenges are so fucking annoying. But even a game like Lost Levels, which I've gone on a record multiple times saying I don't like. I do not like Lost Levels. But when you make me speed through 8-2, yeah, I can find some fun in that.
I mean, I still like Lost Levels. It's just it's an acquired taste kind of thing. I can see why they didn't want to bring that state size back in the day,
Yeah.
and hence we got Super Mario Brothers 2 Game of the Year edition, baby. But no, I
That's
could
like
definitely see why they did that.
that's like waking up and then smelling the dirt and saying that's an acquired taste.
My
Dude,
goodness,
this
dude.
this mud on the side of the pavement, such a good taste. Yeah, no. Would I rather smell the mud on the pavement or would I rather, just smell some delicious 5-course meal that is Mario 1 or Mario 3?
Yeah.
Either
But
way, uh it's great. I honestly liked this collection. I'm calling it a collection. I think that's fair because you get to really see the best moments of half of these games, anyways. And games like Balloon Fight, there's nothing more to them besides what you play, anyways.
Oh yeah, no,
You
because like
literally play the entirety of Donkey Kong.
yeah, because I was like, obviously, with this being back in the NES era, like you had a lot of games that were home console, and you had games that were in the arcade trying to make their way to home console. So you really
Mm.
see that in games like Donkey Kong and Balloon Fight and stuff. Games that traditionally did play like or even Ice Climbers that really play like an arcade game back in the day, though. So it's like that's why some of those, don't necessarily age the best, especially like Ice Climbers. Like, ooh, some of the physics on some of them jumps, though, you just got to nail them just right, though. But overall, yes, it does have a really strong addictive feel when you're going through and playing through it. Both me and you picked up the physical edition of this game. So we got all the extra goodies in terms of like the golden cartridge, the art cards, the pins, which the pins are exactly the same as like five, or well, technically four, but we got five. But they're exactly the same
Mhm.
pins that you actually get within the game when you do certain challenges and stuff.
Yeah,
So I really do like it. I really
it's
like it.
it's really nice, and also those art cards. I want to get those like laminated, or maybe some of them hung up. The Mario 3 one specifically.
Mm.
It like just in a nice little frame.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
but
could see a little frame. Well, that would get
I
expensive if you
wonder.
were framing everything, but
I wonder, are they small enough to fit inside of a Switch box to like make as a Switch box art with Mario 3 on it?
I think they're a little bigger than that.
Yeah, or maybe in a old game case, like a Wii U game case, it would maybe fit
Maybe.
perfectly. But either way, though, you know, the NES, the little NES cartridge you get, which I didn't know this, I had to look it up, but it's the exact size of an NES cartridge. You can even fit in your NES.
Oh yeah, no, it can. I talked about that a little bit in my unboxing video because like literally you can plug the thing up in there. The only thing it's missing is just like the little the little part of the cartridge that actually like reads the game part,
Mhm,
like like the
mhm.
chip.
Like the motherboard, yeah, the like
Yeah,
the actual game. Well,
that's
yeah,
the
but
only
you
thing
could
that's
you could
missing.
you could put one in. Yeah, you can actually make that. You can make that a real game if you want, if you open that up, which I love.
Yeah, it is a little. Yeah, it's technically hollow, and I did a little comparison. Like I put it next to the what was it, the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary, the acrylic version of the cartridge, which both of them, yes, are the same size, but obviously the Fire Emblem one's just like solid acrylic, so it's actually kind of
Mm.
heavy, got some heft to it, like a trophy almost.
Yeah.
While the actual cartridge itself has the actual grooves on it, it's just like plastered in gold. Obviously, missing like a game that would have been playable in the inside of it, though. So I love both of these cartridges, nonetheless, though. So yeah, a lot of attention to detail went on into this little package for $60. Not bad when you're
Mm.
just paying $30 for some of the
Yeah.
extra stuff. You even get the Nintendo slip sleeve cover, which
Yeah, it
I
has
guess
that
technically that's my
premium feel.
second only slip sleeve cover I have for an NES game.
Yeah, that premium feel is really cool. Yeah,
But
this yeah, what do you mean when you say slip sleeve, you mean like the thing that holds the cartridge, right?
yeah, no, I got one with the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary. This one was the second one I got with Nintendo World Championships. I don't have any slip sleeves that came with like some of the original NES cartridges that like my dad managed to get from back in the day. Like he just never kept up with those, or when he bought the games, just
Mhm.
didn't have that
Mhm.
come with it. So
Yeah.
no, that was like my first exposure getting like hands on with one of those slip sleeve covers.
Yeah, even I might honestly use it if I get like a copy of like an authentic copy of Mario 3. Just like my favorite NES game.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah,
Either
that'd be good.
yeah, either way, that deluxe edition, I accidentally bought it twice because I bought it online, but my copy didn't ship in time, so I went to GameStop and bought it day of.
Bro, and I like how we both had some similar-ish kind of stories because
We just
I
wanted to
bought
play
mine
it
at
immediately.
yeah, I bought mine at
We just
Best Buy. They said that they had it stuck on the truck, and I was like, well, shoot, I'm gonna roll over to my Target that said they had like 5 copies left, and just
yeah,
pick it up from there and then cancel my Best Buy one. It's just a
fucking
little
last
unfortunate, but yeah.
last minute Best Buy told me, "Oh, it's coming 2 days late." And I'm like, "What the hell is the point of ordering online if I'm going to get it later anyways?"
That's the thing. I normally don't order online shipping with any limited edition thing because I just don't trust the way how things individually ship by the time they get to your address because I always get like a corner dinged up or something, unless that's the only way. Like, for example, the Square Enix game I'm getting for Visions of Mana. I could only buy that off of Square Enix's store. So gosh by golly, that better show up in pristine
I
condition
remember
when it
that
shows up on my front door.
that Xenoblade box set. People had damage on the boxes.
Oh
We
yeah,
might have
that's
talked.
true too. Yeah, because we
We
had to
might
get
have
that
talked about that.
individually shipped too because of COVID and
Yeah, but
stuff. But yeah,
yeah, no, obviously, it's some stuff you just cannot control. You could also just make it like so. Yeah, you pick up the package at a facility, but they still have to
that's
ship
the
it to that facility. But yeah,
no. But when they do it like that, I think it's shipped in a way where it's just a lot safer. I hardly have any issues with picking up a limited edition from the store itself because it comes in with like a bunch of them. So I guess it's just securely packaged or whatever. I don't know way how they do it though, but it's a lot safer going to a store versus going to your actual home where you have a whole bunch of other
but
people
yeah.
touching it and stuff. So things
Well,
just
because
happen.
they probably stack it with all of their other boxes like how they're supposed to. And as
Yeah.
long as you have an employee that's not like high on fentanyl, they're gonna do their
Bro,
job correctly.
you're trying to get some people busted out. They might need that to get through their shift. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay,
I'm just
anyway.
not. No, no, you just well, yeah, you especially like I don't know, you never know. Well, it's true. You could just have some guy that's not doing their job right, drop your package, and boom, your
Yeah, no.
priceless artifact is done, kaput.
Yeah.
It's happened before. Things get lost in. Uh, have you ever had a package say like lost at sea? I've had that happen to me
Oh no,
before.
nothing like that. Thankfully, no. I thought I would have
It was
lost
this
a couple
fucking.
of packages, but no.
It was this gaming chair I bought. It said it was lost at sea,
Oh, so did
and
they
I'm like,
reimburse you back on all of that?
yeah, yeah, they reimbursed me back on the goddamn chair, but still, fact of the matter is, like, someone dropped my goddamn chair in a
No,
in a
I know the
plane.
story how this went. No one dropped dropped your chair at sea. What happened was the people on board saw that nice, cool looking chair, and they're like, "Man, they
And
got
stole
themselves
it.
sitting on some metal chairs. I'm about to open this thing, set it up right now,
Yeah,
and put my fat little butt up on this cushioned seat, and we're just gonna say, oh, lost at sea.' Someone was probably sitting on that chair right now, Steven. You know good and well that thing ain't in the
yeah.
bottom of the
I
ocean.
hope they're listening.
But
No, but
yes,
yeah, um, never. Yeah,
long
this is a message to everyone listening. Never order any limited editions online unless you absolutely have to.
Well, no, specify. You can order online because that's the way how to go about it nowadays.
Unless you
But
absolutely have to.
have it be to where you pick it up at the store. You can order online, just pick it up
Yeah.
at
Yes.
store.
Yeah.
That's the way to
Well,
go.
yeah. If you're ordering from Amazon, oh yeah, don't order from Amazon for games unless you absolutely have to or you don't care about launch day.
Yeah, because even now Nintendo they ain't playing buddy buddy with them, so you got to really order it from like Best Buy, Target, or
I
Walmart
still don't
now.
know what's happening with that. We thought it was a fluke. We thought it was ending, but no. Like
No, it's been what Princess Peach Showtime, Thousand Year Door, Nintendo World
no, Princess
Championships, Luigi's
Princess
Mansion,
Peach
or no,
was
Princess
not
Peach
affected by it.
that was the last game we regularly got. My bad. So since then, it was like Endless Ocean Luminous, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2, and now Nintendo World Championships. And they still hadn't been sold by Amazon. You can get third party games and stuff from Amazon and stuff, but not the first party stuff. New stuff,
It's
that is.
fucking weird. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's probably to avoid leaks, which it did work.
I think that's the main thing. Yeah, because I hadn't seen the big test will be with the Legend of
Thousand Year,
Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. That would be the big
yeah.
test.
Thousand Year Door leaked about a day early, and that might, you might be thinking to yourself, "Oh, Thousand Year Door, that's a remake. Doesn't matter." Our Mario RPG got leaked 2 weeks early, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. It really just depends on whenever someone just randomly gets a copy sent to their house, and if they know what 4chan is or not.
Yeah, basically. But I think that's about it in terms of our focus on Nintendo World Championships. But in terms of like other games we've been going through and playing, at least for me personally, I just started up playing Ace Attorney 6, which
Mm.
is oh gosh, what's that one actually called? Dual Destinies was game number 5. Spirit of Justice. That's what the sixth one is called. So I just managed to
Mm.
almost finish the first case. I think there's like technically 4 cases that are normal. No, maybe 5 cases that are normal, and a bonus one that makes 6. So yeah, I got one done. So just about 20% of the way through. So hopefully my goal is to get through and play through this game and beat it before I think before the Emio the Smiling Man comes out. and also Visions of Mana. That's the plan. I gotta at least get this game done and out the pipeline though, because once those games come out, it's a done wrap from that point forward.
Yeah.
Astrobot and all those other games that come out later though. But yeah, it's been a bunch of that and Zenless Zone Zero for me. I think I just started the Ace Attorney thing last night. So before that, it was just mostly Zenless Zone Zero. Like that's the main bread and butter along with Splatoon 3. I think that's the only things I've been recently playing. It's just kind of those three games. I just been
Yeah, and
kind of juggling between
I'll
them.
admit I have not gotten back to Endless Zone Zero. I've been playing Fortnite as my live service game.
Oh, it did Nintendo World Championships. That's the other one.
Well, yeah, but yeah, besides that, that came out, played some Fortnite, got sick, and only been playing Fortnite because I don't know. I just haven't felt like playing anything else until today. I finally felt a little bit better today, and now I'm suffering and fucking lost levels.
Hmm. I thought you would be a whiz at that one now because you kind of been lost the past few days.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, but like this game, navigating World 8 with a fucking headache, and also the wind and these stupid ass springs. But no, enough about that. Like, yeah. Besides that, I haven't been playing much.
Okay, well that's not too bad. I was thinking, shoot, you would have had more to say on that one though, but we did manage to get through that though. Um, I'm looking at the rest of the stuff we would normally go through and talk about because I was just about to message you up on this thing in the back end. Don't have time to go through a whole entire gaming debates. We almost managed to squeeze that thing up in here though, but I don't know. Maybe within the next couple of weeks, we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
no,
get some. We'll get some
we'll get
topics
it.
coming in, but I think it might be a little bit slower. I think my gut is telling me, like in terms of major breaking news, we won't get anything like super heavy until the end of August, rolling into September. Then we'll
Yeah, I don't
consistently
know.
have something really good to talk about every couple of weeks, whether it's a game
M-
release or something else
maybe
newsworthy.
I'm jinxing myself, but I don't think anything's happening in the next 2 weeks.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's not like we have like a convention like Comicom that'll take up a big spot within the
Oh,
pop
the
culture segment.
fucking Pokemon thing might come up in August. That's about Indie World.
Oh, hmm, I mean, yeah. I mean, unless it happens in the second half of the week, there's a chance that a Pokemon Direct could happen in the month of August.
Well, if it
I
gets
didn't even think
announced, we'll
about
talk
that.
about what we think.
Yeah.
We'll come in it. Yeah, that's the only thing. Really the only thing I could see coming up. And even then, I don't know, maybe, here's the thing. I kept thinking that like Nintendo was gonna do stuff with their next console. You know, I always thought that Nintendo was gonna do stuff for their next console in like October. It would make a lot more sense for them to do it in August, I'm thinking, Zard. Maybe it's fucking crackpot theory. But if you think about it, I know August is one of their slower months, but like, announcing the new console right before the September Direct probably gives them a lot more freedom for announcements.
Maybe, but I feel like at the same time, they probably
Or
would
even
just
just,
want to go ahead and just have a dedicated event for any kind of software that's related with that new hardware. They're just gonna have an
yeah,
independent event from that because you don't want
like
too
the
much
Switch
bleed over.
presentation
I'm
in
expecting some kind of event like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Switch presentation was really hype just because, well, ended with that Breath of the Wild trailer. But even besides that, you had Arms. A little off topic, just to end. I guess we're just just to end the showcase.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
just wrap
do
it
you
up.
do you remember in the Switch showcase where they kept showing footage of Mario Kart, but they didn't fucking reveal it? Like
Oh, yeah,
they just
you talking about
they
that
just
October tease
it,
and stuff. Like they tease
yeah,
Mario
no, not
Odyssey, they tease Mario Kart 8
yeah.
Deluxe, and I
No,
was
I
like,
mean in
bro,
the January Switch presentation when Arms got revealed and all that,
oh
Shin
gosh,
Megami
I can't.
Tensei 5. Do you remember? Do you just remember they kept showing Mario Kart, but they released the trailer afterwards on YouTube.
Uh,
They
well, I
didn't
guess
actually show a trailer for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They just kept showing footage of a Mario Kart 8 port, but not actually acknowledging it.
well, that's probably the other thing too, because it's like literally, it's just it's just Mario Kart 8 ported over with all the DLC and stuff unlocked. So,
Yeah,
like, do you really need to rehash that?
I
Rehash,
guess they. Yeah,
rehash that. when it's almost
I,
basically the same game, when you really need to iterate on all these other games that are actually brand new, and
yeah,
you
I
can
guess
always chalk that up to a trailer later on.
yeah, consumers maybe just all they needed to know is that Mario Kart was on it.
That's all I really needed, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm very interested about what the Switch 2 will entail, and I hope Nintendo's constant streak of games at the end of this year is a good omen and not them blowing their load too early.
Yeah.
Because it could very easily be them releasing everything now and then having a bit of a dry next beginning of next year, which I hope is not true.
Yeah, so hopefully, with us getting all these inclusion of all these different games, like what on the docket for Nintendo, August is Emio, September's Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, October is Super Mario Party Jamboree, November's Mario and Luigi, I want to say the Brotherhood, but it is the Brothership. And skip December, nothing for
The
now.
brothers,
And January you got Donkey Kong Country Returns, Returns, Returns. I'm still calling that game that. Third time, man. Third time, man. Still no new Donkey Kong game. Gosh dang it, you better give me a new DK game with that Switch 2 presentation. So help me, Nintendo. So help
you
me.
know, I fucking forgot about Donkey Kong. I really did, Zard. I really did.
Well, it's probably because
I'm
it's
sure
technically a 2025 game. Maybe
they're
that's the reason
literally
why.
only releasing that in for the because of the theme park. That's the only reason they're releasing it.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I mean, I did manage to. I don't know if I said that in the previous episode. No, I don't think I did. I did manage. It's funnily enough. I think it was like what, handful of weeks after that Switch presentation in the month of June, I did manage to go back and pick up Tropical Freeze for the Nintendo Switch finally. This Target had it on sale for like $35. And I was like, well, I was waiting on to possibly get this because it does have funky mode and stuff. And I did lose my save data from the Wii U version. So I was like, yeah, I might as well go ahead and pick this up for the Switch just so I can say, hey, I got the game on the most recent hardware and stuff. And
Such a
I
good
actually
game.
had, and now that I can say I own the game physically, even though I say it's like one of my favorite platforms of all time. I was like, I had to have that game physically somehow. So, hey, with funky mode up on there, hey, that's the definitive route.
Yeah. I'm just happy to have both of them now, both of the Retro Studios games.
Yeah, which is actually kind of nice because now you have every single Donkey Kong game represented on the Nintendo Switch via NSO and actual drop. So you
Yeah.
could play 1, 2, 3 Returns and Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, and Returns is basically as good as, it's basically Donkey Kong Country 4 and 5.
Yeah. So good stuff. Good stuff overall. All right, Steven. Well, we had like 5 more minutes. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up or mention or anything like that before we go ahead
Good
and shut things
question.
down?
I'm consulting Twitter. Let's see. Just to make
Uh,
sure nothing crazy happened while we were talking.
Unless something got announced at Comicom on Sunday, which I don't know if it technically runs all the way
Alright,
to this day or not. Yeah, to this day
alright.
technically.
Couple other things that were interesting to me. Mega Man is getting a new comic series. And also, Capcom made a little statement the other day about how they're prioritizing Mega Man as an IP again.
Also,
I don't know if you remember.
they actually addressing that boy.
Well, like the other day, it was something they said where they said that I'm trying to find the exact post, but something about like treating Mega Man as like one of their legacy IPs that deserves that they need to expand.
Hmm.
I hope more than anything that Mega Man gets more games. I love them so much.
Just wake me up when they make a new X game, then we'll talk. Then we'll
Well, yeah,
talk.
I would love a new X game, but like it has to be good first.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you played which X games have you played, Zord?
X1, that's the only one.
Try X4 is also pretty good, but X2 and 3 you can't go wrong with. You should just buy that Legacy collection. Don't play X7.
Hmm. What?
Okay, besides that, like not much else happened Comic-Con. It's
Yeah,
cool though.
that's
It's
about
cool
it.
that we even got announcements, you know.
Yeah.
I because
Wait, hold
I
on, hold
kind
on, hold on,
of
hold the
wait,
phone.
what?
Okay, hold on.
What?
One more thing.
What?
One more thing for Marvel
What
Studios.
happened?
So apparently here are wait, hold next movies. Okay. I'm looking at Culture Crave. You saw that Twitter account, right? Culture Crave, the one with like a Darth Vader icon and stuff.
I think I mean I'm looking it up. Yeah, why?
But apparently he posted a little picture saying all the upcoming MCU movies, which we know about Doomsday, we knew about Secret Wars, and some of these might go into like a potential phase 6 or whatever though, but we know a Spider-Man 4 is coming. They said Shang-Chi 2, which I'm actually excited about that. I like the first one.
That was confirmed. Yeah.
And then we know about Blade, we know about Captain America, we know about Thunderbolts. You're right about the asterisk on there. So I'm like, what the heck is up with the asterisks?
They added that. They specifically went out of their way to add the fucking asterisk. It's not a working title.
Yeah, and Fast Fantastic Four, the first steps. And then they had Armor Wars posted up on here, which remind y'all, Armor Wars was originally supposed to be a
Started
Disney
off as a
Plus,
show.
and now I guess they upgraded it to a movie. Well, I'm all
Yeah, no,
down for that. I'm all down for that if they do that.
this was confirmed, and like, yeah, like, it will have Rhodey and I guess whatever else, but that'll be
Rhodey and
interesting.
probably I think Ironheart, which is like the girl that's kind of like basically like another Iron Man person, but it's like a female version of her. I could see both of them playing off or doing something like that within that movie
Mhm.
though. But I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, and obviously the one of the other big things we'll be talking about next time is gonna be Deadpool and Wolverine, which I wish I could talk about today.
Yeah, so we'll say that for the Marvel segment next week. So we got something to talk about because I think after we're done talking about that movie, that's going to be basically it in terms of most Marvel news until like what
Mm,
Agatha All
mm,
Along comes out when I'll give my review once I'm done watching all the episodes for that. I think that's about it. What we got for the rest of this year because there's not going to be any more movies. So I was like, hey, we want to stretch it and milk it for all it's worth though.
mhm.
All right, Stephen. Well, our 2 hours is about up, so let the fine people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter at Steven Jr. 1231, or you can find me on a collab channel I do with some other friends on YouTube at Spaghetti Disco.
All righty, so that's gonna basically do it in terms of this episode right here, though. Hopefully next week, if not a lot of stuff is going down, fingers crossed. You obviously will hear both me and Steven's thoughts on the Deadpool Wolverine movie, assuming if I find the time to be able to watch it, which I think I should be able to. And then also, new anime season now, so I'm going through and watching quite a few of them though. I'll throw this little teaser out there though for all of those that are like anime junkies. You probably know this title the second I say it though. But oh gosh, what is the name of that? I have to say this before I shut down this stinking podcast. Hold up here, I gotta pull up my Crunchyroll app because this one, Steven, is the one that you should really go through and watch. If I gotta recommend one show, you got to do it. All right, here we go. Alea sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I'll leave y'all at that, and
Fuck
hopefully,
no.
the next episode we'll go through and talk about it because I'm pretty sure, Steven, you saw that on your Twitter. I'll leave it at that. I won't go any further than that. No, I'll probably tell you after stream's done. But no,
I
man,
see
like
a lot of
that's a
things
show.
on my Twitter. That's
No,
all I can say.
that show is priceless. It's priceless. All right, that's it. I'm done rambling on. Let's go ahead and shut this mess down though. So if you happen to be one of our audio only listeners and you happen to be watching this off of YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music Podcast, list kind of goes on and on. Even iHeartRadio. Yes, you can listen to me in the car. Then make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and give a short little review. Let us know how we're doing. We're just a couple dudes that love talking about pop culture segment or pop culture news, as well as gaming news and everything else in between, though. And if you haven't been one of the people watching, the video version of this, make sure you hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you stay up to date on all things video game related we feel like talking about and discussing along with pop culture news as well, though. So that's going to do it for my ZardCast episode 84. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, until my ZardCast episode 85, I'll see y'all later.